Urbanna. Beautiful little town, beautiful little harbor. It's time to move on. Today we're sailing to Gwynn's Island, someplace we've never been. It's just off Matthews County near the southern entrance to the Piankatank River. So that'll be interesting. Okay, sailing out of the Rappahannock River. Had to motor for a bit, but now we're doing well. Flying the big Code Zero, about 8 or 9 knots of wind on the beam, making about 5.5. So out on the bay where there is some wind, and we're making nice time. Basically gotta go right here and then come back down here and right there. We are entering Milford Haven. This is the Gwynn's Island Swing Bridge. People are fishing right in the channel. Hey sailors, well, we're anchored just off of Gwynn's Island, Milford Haven. Look at that Trumpy back there. Beautiful little anchorage, and we're the only ones here, so that's pretty cool. In a little while we'll go to shore and check it out. We dinghied into the only restaurant on the island and had some great food at the Hole in the Wall. Gwynn's Island has quite a maritime history, and it's a historical site. Clearly, life on the island was pretty difficult at times. We walked about 1.5 miles to the Gwynn's Island Museum, and were pleasantly surprised and impressed with the quality of the exhibits there. While it was a long walk on a hot summer's day, it was definitely worth the effort. Late in the afternoon, we took the dinghy out for a little cruise, motoring through Milford Haven and up into some of the creeks and tributaries. We discovered some interesting old architecture and some quite fun little sights. Here's a property that's for sale. Maybe I should call my realtor. It's about 7:45 on a Sunday morning, and we are departing Gwynn's Island. It is cloudy and misty and a little bit wet, but the wind is supposed to die off, so we want to catch that, and the sun's supposed to come out a little bit later, so we'll like that, won't we? Will we like the sun coming out? We like the sun, especially when it's not going to get above 80 degrees, so see how it goes. Dolphin alert!
Right there. Right there. It's got to come out sometime.
Yeah, it'll come up. Unless they ran away. There they are. Woo. Bunches of them. dolphin somewhere if you're into that. There he is. Running dead downwind now, wing on wing. Yep. Well, that's a wrap. A little short trip from Gwynn's Island on the Piankatank River down to Cape Charles Yacht Center, Cape Charles Harbor, the Eastern Shore. Great place to cast off from if you're heading offshore, particularly if you're going north. So we shall see. We clearly had a great time in Cape Charles. We went over to the distillery and had some charcuterie and drinks. And then we wandered around town. It's a lovely place. They have a beautiful beach, white sand right on the Chesapeake Bay. Lovely for the families, and some old historic homes. This is the old hospital, now turned into a B&B. We're at Cape Charles Yacht Center in Cape Charles, Virginia, right at the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, getting ready to cast off the lines, head out into the big blue Atlantic Ocean, and sail north. Got a good forecast, 15 to 18 out of the southeast. So it should be beam reaching initially, and then broad reaching, and then probably running at the end. So come aboard and see how it goes. We want to say a big thank you to our good friend Russ Borman aboard Sailing Vessel Bliss, who took these photos as we exited the harbor. Okay, well, we have exited Cape Charles Harbor. We're in the Cherrystone Channel, and we're basically on this heading for the next 8 miles. As you can see, that's directly into the wind. But that's a good news story, because when we get down here to the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, we're gonna hoist the sail right about there, pass through, and then we'll fall off, and we should have a nice beam reach, broad reach on our way north. Rigging up the deck lines. Current going out and the wind coming in. Let me get a little more power here. All right, I'm coming. All right, here we go. Here we go. So what do you think, Miss Swan?
What?
What do you think? Good to be on the ocean?
Yeah.
Still love me?
Yeah.
Is it a good book? So we're going about 8.5, 9 knots. And this is what it sounds like down below. Pretty quiet. No creaking. No rattling, just the VHF. Well, Lizzie wants her tea. So let's get her tea. There's the tea. I want another Diet Pepsi. They're hiding down here. There it is. Oops. There it is. Oh, there we go. Up. Hello. Hello. There you go. Hey everybody, it's about 1 a.m. We've been underway for almost 12 hours. We've covered 90 nautical miles. But it's been performing well, the crew's been performing well. It's been a good sail so far. The wind has continued to shift further and further to our stern, and so we've had to head up a bit. So we've added what we will have added some mileage to the overall passage. Just so we can maintain a broad reach. We don't like sailing at night with the wind right behind us. Not the greatest point of sail. But at some point here, as the sun comes up, we're gonna jibe. And again, we should be on a nice broad reach, this time on a port tack, currently on a starboard tack. Then we'll be on a port tack right into Cape May. I'll give you an idea of the conditions. As you can see, we are broad reaching, very broad. Well, it's about 5:45, and we are flying code 0. Got about 7, 8 knots of apparent wind on the port quarter, and we're luckily making about 6 knots with the big sail. Yeah, going into Cape May Inlet. Got a pretty stiff current running against us, but all good. Here we are at Cape May. Get ready to get rocked. So it's about 160 nautical mile passage, 24 hours. So we had to throw about 20 extra nautical miles in. Due to the wind direction, we just didn't want to run completely direct downwind. So to stay on a broad reach, we had to head up and make some easting before we jibed and came back in. Yeah, we're here in the Cape May anchorage, such that it is. Took us about 4 tries to get the hook to set. But yeah, we're here and looking forward to checking out this cool little town. We've never been here, at least never been ashore here. Our visit to Cape May did not disappoint. It is really a treasure with incredible Victorian architecture. It was like stepping back in time. I almost felt like it was on the set of Back to the Future as we walked around and went into Della's 5 and 10 to the soda fountain and ordered lemonade. And then after admiring the Victorian houses, we took an Uber over to Wildwood and walked the boardwalk, and once again it really felt like a trip back in time. A highlight of our stop in Cape May was catching up with Jorge Bermudez, who had sailed in on his SV Scallywag a couple days after us. After several days in Cape May, we made the difficult decision to cancel our plans to continue sailing north. We had run out of time, obligations were pressing, and there was bad weather on the horizon. We traveled up the wasteland that is the Delaware Bay and through the C&D Canal, tying up at Schaefer's Canal House for an evening, and then on to Annapolis the next day, where we took a mooring ball. After a fun evening in Annapolis with friends, we woke up the next morning and sailed home to Harrington Harbor South. It really was a wonderful cruise, and we now shift our attention to prepping for our passages south this fall.